Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Terminator here. And I know it's been a long time since I uploaded and streamed. I just been busy. I had like online school, I had some family stuff going on. Nothing too serious, just spending time with the family. And I'm finally decided 1 month later, I'll finally do my review on the game, my experience on the game of The Last of Us Part 2, even though it's been like almost 2 months since the game came out and I'm kind of late on sharing my opinion, but I'm gonna share it anyway. So let's get right into it. So we'll start off with, you know, the hype around the game. I was so hyped. I was hyped for like 7 years. Everyone was hyped when they announced it at, uh, was it PAX or E3? I don't remember which one it was, but no, PAX is something else. But I think it was E3. E3, obviously. E3 is for video games. Like E3 announced it. I was hyped ever since, and uh, like showing all these cutscenes, showing Abby, showing Joel and Ellie. I thought it was really great, and when playing the game, it was good. I wouldn't say it was the best. I wouldn't say it was better than the first one. The first one is like it's on its own level whatsoever, but like this one was good, but it could not be compared to the first one whatsoever. Like um the first one was just like it was just a masterpiece. It was something Naughty Dog has never done before. They've been doing Uncharted, and that was already a hit. But just bringing like a zombie game, and having like and splitting like half their team up, and just making this game, I thought it was great. So when playing this game, like I did have fun, but there were a few parts I just didn't like I didn't like a lot. So like obviously the biggest one would be Joel, the death of Joel. A lot of people did not like that death, and I didn't like it either. I was really mad about it, like the way they just killed him off like that in the first 2 hours. But obviously, you know, not everyone can have a happy ending. Like especially in the world of The Last of Us, no one can have a happy ending in that game. You're gonna die like in a brutal way, whether it be by the infected or being killed by other people. The only like slight chance you'll like have like a peaceful death is like like you're like living in like a nice like city where Joel was. Well, obviously he was out on patrol and he died. So obviously Joel's death was the biggest one because we only played for him like we only played him to like the very beginning. We only played for him like 2 minutes in the game, and then all of a sudden we play as Ellie. We transition to Ellie. We see her perspective, what's going on, and then we switch over to Abby. Who's looking for Joel. Like we don't know. We know she's looking for someone, but we don't know if it's Joel in particular. We're not there yet, but she's looking for him. She gets chased by all these herd of infected, which was actually a pretty cool scene. One of my favorite scenes in the game, actually. You know, Joel gets her, and uh, like, Joel, like, well, it was Tommy who, told, like, said Joel's name, but like, obviously, it was like at the heat of the moment, right? Like, because like they're being chased down by infected, so like, they're like, trying to get their way through, and what really like tipped me off was like Abby's like she has a place to stay with her friends, and Tommy and Joel kind of like they're like, okay, yeah, we'll go with that, because knowing Joel, like we played Joel as the first game, like this guy has major trust issues. Like you know he doesn't, like, you can see it in the first game, he didn't trust that many people around him. Like the only people he trusted in the very first game was Tess, and it was Bill. Then later on Ellie. He trusted Ellie later on. This guy had this, like, even if he was living in like a society for like the past like 4 years, that that trust thing, like the trusting people thing, even though he's bringing in people, that should be in the back of his head. He should have been like he should have known something was coming. He should have said something like, no, no, it's fine. He's like, no, there's another place you can go and just stay there. But you know, they get to the mansion and like they just walk in there and like they like leave their horses, like they walk in. Tommy says their name, like I think, and Tommy knows that Joel does have trust issues, and I don't know why he would say, "Yo, I'm Tommy. This is my brother Joel," and they make and the way they were like the way where like Joel was standing in the center, and the way like they were like surrounding, like they weren't surrounding him, but like they were like kind of caving in on him, like, and like Joel should have knew something was up. Like this guy survived 20 years into the apocalypse. Like he was a hunter himself. Like he would if you played the first game, you would know what these hunters would do. Like they would do ambushes and they would like kill people. That's what Joel was in the first game. Like he mentioned it in the first game, like to Ellie, like he was a hunter, and he has been on both sides. He has been ambushed, and he did ambushes on people. So when when they were like kind of like caving in on him, he should have knew something was up. Like and like then he gets shot, like he gets his like fucking knee shot, like his kneecap shot off. Then he gets his leg tourniqueted, and then like he gets beaten to death with a golf club. Like I felt like yes, it was realistic. It was gonna, we all knew he was gonna die, but like the way he died was like you just like here, like you just do dog shit at his face, like here, like you're gonna die like that. Like you should have gone out in a fight at least. Like, you know, Ellie got there, like Abby had like the gun pointed at Ellie, or no, Abby had the gun pointed at Ellie and like told Joel like, hey, if you don't comply, I'm gonna kill you. And like Joel like goes on beast mode on her, and like somehow like he saves Ellie in the process, but ends up losing his life. And then that's where the whole point of like the whole revenge thing should have started off. Like Ellie is going after Abby because Joel saved Ellie's life, and she's going back to kill Joel, to kill Abby. Sorry, but instead, like, you know, he gets his leg shot off, and he just like gets killed by a golf club. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it was realistic, but it wasn't right. And we know from the game trailer, like Ellie's like, oh, what are you doing here? And it's Joel saying, you think I'll let you do this alone? And, you know, I thought like that would happen, but it didn't happen because obviously Joel got killed off. So like it turned out to be Jesse, and I'm cool with Jesse, right? And I felt like there should have been like a different narrative to the game, you know, like Joel, like Abby should have brought. I'm cool with Abby, and she should have brought in. She should have been brought in a way that would have make it a bit more interesting. Like, you know, like, oh, like I know I saw the Rad Brad's review on this. I saw his take on how he thought the game should be, and he thought like Abby was looking. She was looking for Ellie, but she didn't know like Joel was like behind her father's death or something like that. She thought it was Ellie. She's looking for him. Ellie's like, and like he said, like Ellie's gone somewhere to do something, or like she's ran off, and like Abby meets Joel, and they try to hunt her down, not hunt her down, but find her, and she's at like the St. Mary Joseph's Hospital, where she's like, oh, she wants to know what happened because Joel like hid it from her, and like, and then Abby finds out the truth that Joel killed her dad, and like she doesn't know what to do because like, you know, she's been like Joel helped her out, like that's what he said, and I think that would have been really interesting too, like, but yeah, I think Joel's death was like, it was like I said, it wasn't the greatest death, but it was the realistic. It was a realistic death. The next point, or the next, so moving along, or like I know I'm doing this on the spot, so like so I am stuttering a lot and stopping a lot. Sorry, I'm just doing this like on the top of my head. So the next point would be like, The Seattle part, like going to Seattle, that was fun too. Seeing seeing all get to explore Seattle, getting all these loot, seeing these new infected. The Shambler was really cool. It just like if you get too close to it, it blows up like acid all over you and tries to kill you. And I thought it was great. I think they should have brought in infected animals. I thought that was cool too. Or I thought that was cool. It wasn't in the game. I thought that would be cool because it would be kind of a new challenge in a way. So we had like an infected like elephant or a lion. That would be cool. But the Shambler was cool too. The wolves and Seraphites, that was a great, or the Scars, if you want to call them that. The wolves and Scars, their ongoing war, like who's gonna control what, that was great. And seeing how Fedra fell, how the military fell in Seattle, getting to see all those getting to see like picking up those like letters, seeing how that happened. Um, I think it would have been interesting if they brought in like the hunters, like, because like every like some parts of the city would have like bandits and hunters. I really thought that would be interesting. Like it would be like a three-way battle between all these like big um these big groups. Like you have the Scars, the Seraphites, and then you have these bandits, and they're all trying to get control of each other. And maybe like you can team up with like the bandits to take down like both the Seraphites and the wolves. I thought it would have been interesting too. But um, yeah, so going to Seattle, that was fun. Um, and then the next part would obviously a lot of people would was also like some people didn't like was playing as Abby. Now I did like playing as Abby. I thought it was interesting to see her perspective on what like she felt she had to do to get to Joel. It was interesting to see like who was with her. Personally, I didn't really care about her friends. I didn't care about like any of them whatsoever. Um, Maybe, actually no, I didn't care about any of her friends. Like they all died. I was like, get wrecked. That's what you got coming, right? I mean, I did feel bad for Mel. She was pregnant and then she died because Ellie stabbed her. But yeah, I didn't care about her friends. But playing as Abby was interesting because how she got into contact with Lev and Yara, and how Yara saved Lev and Abby from Isaac because Abby betrayed them and stuff like that. Um, and I can see why a lot of people didn't like playing as her because like she killed Joel. That was like the main reason. Like, she killed Joel, and no one really wanted to play 10 hours of her. Another reason would be like like a lot of people didn't really sympathize with her. Like they didn't really feel connected with her because one, she wasn't in the first game, and you didn't get to see that build up with her. You didn't see you didn't see that build up with her. But like unlike what you did with Joel and Ellie, you got to see that relationship build over time. So I think how they should have like made Abby like really more like interesting or likable is like at the end of the first game when Joel like tells Ellie like he swore like everything about like the Fireflies he said was true to her, and Ellie said okay. It should have switched scenes to the part where Abby, when you play the second game, she opens the door and she runs to like the medical room and sees her dad on the ground and Owen's holding her back in tears. That's where the game should have cut off. It should have ended there in the first game. Abby crying, seeing her dead dad in the first game. It would have been the best cliffhanger, and it would have been great. Like the hype would be crazy for the second game because a lot of people wanted to see who this character was and what she was going to do in the next game because her dad died and Joel killed her. I think that's what Naughty Dog should have done, but instead they kind of like it went down to like this whole like NPC thing, like oh this NPC doctor you can't like push him away or like take Ellie, no you have to kill him, and then her daughter would come back and then he would kill like the most lovable like video game character of all time. So I thought yeah, playing as Abby, like it was fun. Like it was interesting to see her perspective, to get to see like how she was bonding with Lev, which I thought Lev was a cool character. Um, really interesting to see like what he's been through, and I just think I feel like even though I'm like all for like diverse characters, but I feel like Naughty Dog is like they're like milking this, like bringing all these LGBTQ characters, which I'm totally cool with because Ellie is she's a lesbian, and I'm cool with that. But I feel like they're just like they're trying to like really milk it. They're trying to like make profit out of this, you know. Uh, but you know that's a topic for another time. So I would say so let's talk. So those are like the the issues. The like I would say like the main issues like a lot of people and myself had with it. Now let's talk about the comparison between Ellie and Abby. So when I was playing as Ellie throughout whole Seattle, I felt like she was like even though she was like I had to like sneak around a lot, you know, because she's kind of skinny and she's small and you have to like hide your way around to like kill people and like I was like there were like some parts I was like really scared. Uh, that part where like you're going into the office and there are like a lot of stalkers there. I felt so scared playing that because like it's Ellie and like she can't really fight off like stalkers that well because like they're really strong. They're getting to that clicker phase where they're gonna get really strong. So like I'm just like really scared, like sweating and like seeing like oh they're like coming around the corner to try to kill them. So like I thought that was really interesting because like and because you have to like sneak around a lot and what I noticed with Ellie is like she has more like weapons than Abby. She would have like the hunting rifle, the pistols, the bow and arrow. She would have like more like how would you say like items. So she would have like Molotovs. She would have her the trap mines, and she also smoke grenades or smoke bombs or whatever, right? But with Abby, she would have like her uh, rifle. She'll have her shot, or like did she have a shotgun? I don't remember now. But she would also have a like she had like a Daryl bow and arrow, like Daryl from The Walking Dead bow and arrow. She had like this one shot pistol, which was really effective. But she would only have like one thing, and that was like a pipe bomb. That's the only thing she had. Because like you know, like playing with Abby, like I felt like I could like instead of like sneaking around, I will like just go up and just like start like bashing buttons and start like running into people because like she's so like buff. I felt like I didn't need to sneak around with her as much as I had to do with Ellie because Ellie I had to like sneak around, hide. I had to like plan out my attack. Like okay, if I'm gonna go if I'm gonna go to the right and just take that person or that infected out. But with Abby, I'll just climb over it and just like start like hitting square and just smashing and like knocking her out, knocking people out. So I thought that was really interesting to play as her playing two differences. Whereas like Abby, with Abby, I can just go and brute force and just start punching people, but with Ellie, I would just have to sneak around, hide around, you know. So, the last part I would like to bring up is the ending of the game. Now, a lot of people say the ending, not a lot of people. Half the people say the ending is dog shit. It sucks. Absolute trash. Other people say it was a great ending. Awesome ending. Perfect ending. And for me, 50-50. And here's why. So, the ending of the game is pretty much Ellie goes to California to get to Abby and kill her, and she gets to her and she's been like tied up like 2 months on the pillars and like you can tell she's lost a lot of muscle mass. And she gets Lev and she's like leaving to find the fireflies, and Ellie won't let her leave and they start fighting, and Abby like refuses to fight her. So like she doesn't want to fight it. And like keep in mind that Abby spared her life twice. She spared her life, like she let her go in the first time when she killed Joel, and the second time when Dina was like, and she was going to kill Dina. And if it weren't, if it, I guarantee like the first time she was like, oh, she let it go because like she didn't want, she was like she didn't want, she's not gonna kill them. She was only there for Joel. The second time, she would have killed them all, guaranteed. Um, because she would have killed them guaranteed because they killed all their friends. But since Lev was there, she didn't like kill them. She just let them go. So a lot of people hated the ending because Ellie let her go because she's like because Ellie let her go. She didn't finish the job, and like a lot of people were mad that like yo, she killed Joel and you're just letting her go. And the people who said and I'm like, for me, I'm like, yeah, like, why'd she let her go? Like, she should have just killed the job right there. But, but then I thought to myself, and this is what the other people say, like, the ending was great, say, like, even if she did kill Abby, it wouldn't bring Joel back. Like, it wouldn't bring him back, and, like, even killing, even killing Abby, like, she would be no good as her, because she killed Joel, and now she's gonna kill Abby. Like she's not she's the same as her. Like she killed all her friends, and now she's gonna kill her. But like yeah, and like it's just like this cycle. It would just been like a typical like a simple like revenge plot. But like I think that's where Naughty Dog like makes it great, where like they make it like really complicated and like they show the other side. Like it's not revenge is not all about it's not everything. It's not everything. Like you're not gonna get like Ellie like you're not gonna get anything you're not gonna get the thing back even if you did that thing. So like even if Ellie did kill Abby, and I said this like a few minutes ago, it was not gonna bring Joel back. She would have still felt lost. And of course she did feel lost at the end because Dina and JJ, Dina's baby, they left. They were gone, and that was Ellie alone. And she also lost her connection with Joel, which I kind of got mad. I kind of got annoyed about that too, because Abby bit her fingers off. Now she can't play guitar, and she lost her connection with Joel. And it was like, what? Now she's like, and then it just ends her just walking away. Guaranteed there's gonna be like a third game for sure, because it's just her walking away, because we don't know if she's going back to Jackson or if she's going somewhere else. And yeah, that was so I thought so that was that. So some other things, these are like smaller things, like it's not smaller, but these are other things I didn't like either. Another thing I didn't like was how they killed off like Jesse and how they made Tommy like very vulnerable. So playing when Jesse came along to Seattle, I actually really liked his character a lot. Like some people say like, oh, he could be like he was like the Asian Joel, like he was awesome, like he looked up to Joel, and like he was really fun to have around. And I think like the way his death was like perceived, it was just like it was like, I know it was out of nowhere, like he just opens the door, gets shot 2 times in the face, done. That like that, and like I got mad about that too because I really liked his character, and they just Naughty Dog did him dirty like that and just killed him. And then Tommy, they made Tommy like vulnerable as well, like he got shot in the knee and he lost his eye, and I don't know, I think like that's what a lot of people got mad about too, like people are cool with like having like female characters, strong female characters, but like killing or like weakening like the guys, straight guys in the game, like a lot of people weren't happy about that. So, and I think with uh the game, like even though I've said like this a while back, or like I just said this like a few minutes ago earlier in the video, I said that instead of like instead of playing, or I'm sorry. I said this in like the last like in my last stream when I finished the game. Instead of playing as Abby, we got to see the perspective of Tommy and how he got through like the scars and the surface. I think that would have been really interesting too to see his perspective of the game. Um, and yeah, I thought that would have been interesting as well. The parts that I did really like about the game was the flashbacks between Joel and Ellie and like how their relationship was going. The whole like museum part was really cool, and like the part where like they go to like Ellie goes to the hospital. I thought that was really good too, and like it kind of showed like why she was angry at Joel, and you know she forgave him at the end. I thought that was great too. Um, other things otherwise, um, something else for the game. I think other things for the game would just be like the action set pieces. Like I felt like Abby had like a lot of the action set pieces. You know, like the Rat King and like the whole like the camp. The whole like going into the Seraphites and Scars territory, and that whole like riding with the horse, fighting the fighting through the Scars and Seraphite, and you being involved as like the Scars are trying to kill you because they think you're a wolf, and the wolves trying to kill you because you're a traitor, and you're killing Lev because Lev, you know, he didn't like the traditions, and like the Scars didn't like that. They're trying to kill him, and then the wolves trying to kill Lev because he's a Scar. I thought that was great, really good. So my overall experience with the game, I did have fun with it. I thought it was great, but I think there were things that could have been done better, and I would give it like a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10. Like 7.5, 8 out of 10, I would give that The Last of Us Part 2. It was a fun game. I really enjoyed it. Some parts could have been better, but it will not top the first game for sure. No way. I think if they're gonna make a third game, I think I would like to see a prequel to the first game of Joel and Tommy being as hunters in Boston. Alright, sorry about that. My brother called me for lunch. So as I was saying, yeah, I would be really interested if the third game was like a prequel to the first game of The Last of Us, where you say Joel and Tommy as hunters. I think that would be really interesting to see their perspective. Um, well, maybe it won't be like a third game, maybe like a DLC or something, but like something like it shows like the relationship from like it'll show like Joel and Tommy from like the point where Sarah died all the way up to the point before Joel like meets Ellie. I think that would be really good to see in the game. Another thing I think would be really interesting for the third game is like maybe explore like different characters, new characters in the game. Maybe like who are in like a different part of the United States. Maybe like Hawaii. I'll be cool to see a Last of Us in Hawaii. Maybe like Alaska, Last of Us in Alaska, or maybe like in a different part of the world, like with just new characters. Like maybe like Canada or something like that, or maybe like I don't know, like the Dominican Republic of the Dominican Republic of the Congo, South Africa, India. That would be really cool. Like to see like how the the cordyceps fungus disease, how it affected other parts of the world, like how did it affect countries in like Argentina, Brazil, or like in Europe. I would really like to see that because we've seen how it was like in the United States. We've seen how like all these how society fell in the United States, how like they're like different like factions of groups, how there's still some military presence in the United States, but not all the way because they're like different resistance groups, they're like bandits, and they're like small like other communities. I think it'll be really interesting to see other like people's journeys in the game from different countries. So yeah, so that's pretty much my review for the Last of Us Part Two. Maybe other things I would like to see in the future, and I shared like things that could happen. I gave my rating 7.5, 8 out of 10, because it was fun to play, but there were some like flaws that could have been better, and overall it was like really interesting to see Abby's perspective of the game, but it will not top the first game whatsoever. So anyway, guys, I know this was a longer video than usual. I do have other videos planned, and I'll have them uploaded maybe later this week or maybe even tomorrow. But no guarantees. But for tomorrow, but definitely later this week. So anyway, guys, thank you for listening, and I'll see you later. Peace.